record on this computer. All right. So what's the benefit? What a great intro. Yeah, I kind of like choked. How did you know?
You're recording.
Business benefit greatly when customers are satisfied. You don't say. All right. More common sense from your business management class. All right. When a customer has a complaint, it creates a perfect opportunity for a business to ensure the customer ends up happy. Let's look at four major advantages of handling customer complaints successfully. Goodwill. Goodwill is a positive feeling a person has toward a business. All of a business's activities, from personal interaction to advertising to community involvement, affects this feeling or image. Handling customer complaints appropriately also promotes goodwill. Although customers may forget the specifics about a complaint, they will remember the pleasant or unpleasant manner in which the business dealt with them. Then there's increased sales. So each complaint is a chance to satisfy a customer and to increase sales. Yeah, I mean, a complaint can be looked at in one or two ways. Oh, it's a bad thing, someone's complaining, or this is an opportunity for me to change their mind. Don't forget the positive feelings generated by selling customer complaints appropriately will be transmitted to others through word of mouth. As a result, new customers may be attracted to you and your business, which may also increase sales. So again, the same thing I talked about the GoPro thing yesterday. I told y'all about the GoPro situation I had, and then I handled it very well. And even if you saw some stuff online, do you who are you going to trust now? And that's totally up to you. Are you going to trust some people online that you've never met, or are you going to trust your teacher who told you about his GoPro experience? Cool. I mean, most likely. Now that's not to say, look, GoPro's a large corporation. Are you going to talk to the same person I talked to? So will you get the same treatment or experience that I did? Hopefully, but could you? Maybe, maybe not. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to get. So that's something important. But now you do have that word of mouth experience that you know of how GoPro treated your teacher. So you may be more susceptible. Yes, English. To to going to GoPro and buying something from them now, knowing that someone else had a good experience. Uh, Unless I never get my GoPro back, but I'll keep that up. I'll keep you updated. More accurate product and marketing information, so businesses can use the information derived from complaints when making future purchases, preventing many new complaints before they occur. If a certain product generates a lot of customer complaints, for instance, the business might want to discontinue selling that product and find sustainable replacement. Okay, I'll go back to the camera. One. I'm not using food. I'm using a camera this time. So the Walmart camera I talked about yesterday, right? I used it last night. It fell to the ice again last night. I don't know why it happened, and I was talking about it. It fell to the ice. Guess what? Still was recording and continued working afterwards. Perfectly fine. Um, I don't know what happened with that. I knew it wasn't completely on good, but the horn sounded, so I had to get into that, and I was like, if it falls, it falls. Um, but here's what's interesting about said camera. Give me a moment. I'm right.
Everybody went out of the top. Right.
Fortunately, people love it. Okay, so this is the old Walmart camera. And it's right in this little case. This is kind of looks like a thousand. This is the GoPro no longer. But okay, so notice this is what my first camera was like. This is what I used. This thing worked, but it wasn't great, and the reason behind it was these buttons on the top would get stuck. This button would get stuck up in there, it'd be an issue. So I had to kind of return it, get a new one. Also, the SD card was on the outside. That was kind of a nice feature. It also had this screw. I forgot what the technical term for the screw hole is, but this was a little bit better. So they had a few good features on this camera, but this was a problem. This broke a lot. I got 2 or 3 of these cameras and returned them, get a new one, continued to break. So I eventually decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. Now also you notice in this little case thing, there's these little kind of like pins that come down to use so you can use the buttons, right? So that was part of the issue. You press down too hard on these without even thinking about it, and it would mess up the camera. And it's broken. So, okay. Obviously, Vivitar, I guess, saw complaints about this. They saw all these complaints, and they made a change. The buttons now are made differently. I have not replaced this camera at all. This is the original one I got. I haven't had an issue with this power button. You can see there's still this little pin business, but it's got a better spring on the inside of this little casing. So they must have listened to customers and said, you know what, we're going to make a better camera, and it's going to work. Now, what's kind of annoying about it is there's not that little screw point at the bottom, so like you can't really mount this as well. But they thought of something with that. There's a little attachment, I don't have it with me, that goes around this camera, and it gives me these little holes that allows me to attach it to things, regardless if I have this bulky case. Because obviously the sound isn't as good inside the case, but it protects your camera, so it's kind of a which one, you know, sound or protection. So obviously this is kind of a long example, but it works. And maybe if there's a question about this on the final exam, you'll remember it from the cameras. So basically what you're seeing is they saw a complaint, they saw an issue, and they were like, we're going to fix it with this camera. Now they still sell this one because I ordered a whole bunch of them for the Adobe Video class next semester. But that being said, hopefully it won't break. If it does, it does. Anyway, but in all seriousness, they obviously improved on their quality. And this is 1080 full HD. That was 4K, so it's just their better model, but they improved it. So that being said, that's the example for that one. Because that's my personal. Those are stupid. Because I'm not personally buying any more. Those other ones. So yeah, it's important as a company to solve problems, because if they just keep selling that camera with that same power button, are people going to keep buying it? No, they're going to lose customers. Now Vivitar can afford that because they're not like GoPro. Vivitar makes tons of things. They make like security cameras. They make baby monitors, which I use basically a baby monitor as a security camera. It works out really well. I'll show you that in a moment. It's pretty cool. So when you have a wide range, if there's a product that's not working, you can kind of do that. So another business aspect I may have talked about in this class, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of political things going on. There's a lot of people meeting on different issues. I'm not giving you my opinion that will matter. I'm just going to give you an example of something. And this is kind of off topic, but it does have to do with customers complaining. So there's a big complaint that Walmart was selling firearms, right? And Walmart was selling AR platform rifles, basically. And people were not happy about it. People were not wanting Walmart to sell those weapons. So Walmart decided we're not going to sell those anymore. And now to the public, Walmart looks like, oh, you know, they're listening to the people. They want to do what they want to do. You know, they're trying to be good to those people. And it turned out they just put those rifles on sale, so they got rid of them. Okay, you're fine. So they put those on sale and got rid of them. So they didn't just take them off the market; they still sold them. Does that make sense? So they were doing what the public wanted, but at the same time they were still making a profit off of it. Does that all make sense? So it's still kind of like, yeah, Walmart's tried it. They had a good PR press, but they also still made money off of them, and they still sold them to the public. So just keep that in mind. A lot of stores may do something to kind of help their PR or help their complaints, but they really didn't they really didn't do anything about the problem because they still sold those firearms. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying my political opinion on either what side of it, but you get the picture that Walmart tried to make a PR statement about it, but they still turned around and sold those weapons. They just didn't order anymore. So they're going to make money off of what they ordered. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. I think I may have talked about that already when we talked about something else. So more accurate product and marketing information. The business can use this information. We just talked about that. Increased employee confidence. No employee wants to deal with an unhappy customer. It's hardly a fun experience. However, each time an employee gains experience successfully handling a customer complaint, his or her confidence will increase. In addition to this personal benefits for the employee, this confidence strengthens the business' continued effort to handle complaints appropriately. So obviously, the first time you handle complaints, it might not go the best in the world. It might exactly. And eventually, you get better. Wendy's obviously didn't get better from the experience I talked about, but I didn't complain about it. So maybe had I complained, it would have gotten better. Who knows? But I'm not one of those people who try to complain about fast food service all the time. So there's that. All right. Check out a few more facts to figure out the benefits of customer complaints by reading The Silver Lining. If you want to go back and read that, you're welcome to, but we're probably not going to. Just deal with it. So, before we dig into the specific steps that employees should take to handle customer complaints, it's important to understand what policies and procedures are. A policy is a general rule that a company's personnel should follow to avoid misunderstanding and to apply, thank you, Ms. Carr, apply fair and consistent treatment to commonly faced situations. So again, if you have a policy in place, it's going to lead to you not having any issues. I think we've talked about this a little bit before, and I don't know which section it was, which A or B was here. But a policy basically keeps you from treating people differently, right? It helps you, if you have a complaint, you treat those people the same way if you have a policy. So let's talk about the steps of this. Actually, let's talk about a procedure. A procedure is a step-by-step process that an employee follows when performing a specific task. When customers express complaints, employees should be able to follow procedures that line up with company policies. A good example, when I contacted GoPro, I had to take pictures of my damage on my screen. I had to send them a picture of my serial number on the camera. And once I did that, we had gone through some of those steps that they had to take. And then they sent me the information. I had to go to UPS and send it, not to the Postal Service like an idiot I am. Went to the Postal Service first, but it happens. So anyway, I had to go through those steps, and right now it's hopefully at GoPro. I really need to track that. Hopefully it's at GoPro, and they are processing it, and hopefully they are sending me another one in the next couple of days. So step one, listen. So gaining their attention and having the chance to express his or her dissatisfaction helps to place an unhappy customer in a better frame of mind. Be attentive and courteous, no matter what the customer's attitude is. Do not argue with him or her. Use empathy to express your concern. Okay, another great example of this. I know everyone's seen the Burger King guy on the plane. The Burger King guy, the guy with the crown, I don't understand what's going on there. Here's the issue I did see with it. Obviously, he just needs to be taken off the plane for causing that much of a disruption. Here's the problem. I heard the flight attendant tell him to shut the F up. As the flight attendant, you should not have said shut the F up to somebody. I understand you're frustrated with them, and I understand. But as the person working for that company, you've got to keep your cool, or you're going to lose your job. It is what it is. If not saying a parent would come and yell at me. If a parent comes and yells at me and I tell them to shut the F up, do you think I'm keeping my job?
No.
There's a good chance I'm not. That's not going to go well for me, is it? So that's one of the most important things is you need to stop and listen to the complaint. I had a woman one time when I was working at the pool come and she fussed me out. And all I did was just say yes. Okay? I understand why you're upset. She was mad I wouldn't let her son swim in basketball shorts in the pool. Firstly, I don't technically agree with it anyway. Because in this day and age, basketball shorts and swim trunks are almost like the same thing. Like, there's not much of a difference. But I had someone, so one of the board members came to me and said, "Hey, we've been noticing people swim with basketball trunks. We don't want that." I said, "Well, aren't they basically the same thing these days?" They said, "No, they're not." And then they pointed out this person who was wearing basketball shorts in the pool. And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, they
So
were there.
they pointed them out. So I had to say something. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is as an employee, that's what you have to do. And I think it was said actually to someone else working at the time, but I noticed it. The next day they come back. I'm like, well, at any minute, one of my board members could come in and tell me, "Hey, Scott, why have you not said anything to the person in basketball shorts?" So I went over to him and said, "Hey, guys, I know it's annoying. You can't be in the pool with basketball shorts. I know we told you this recently. You're going to have to leave. If y'all can go find some swim trunks of some sort, you're welcome to come back today. Just go find some swim trunks." Well, there's that. So then the aunt of the person came and fussed me out, really mad at me, saying I was being a jerk to her children, yada yada yada. She just was yelling at me like.
Yeah, that also get onto the contract.
So I said, well, I literally just stood there and I just said, okay, okay. I told her multiple times, I understand why you're frustrated. I said, it's the rules. I can't help it. It's not my rule. It's not my control. I would have told her to please back up, and then I would have probably backed into the guard room and said, I need my space. I will gladly listen to you. I would probably never swing at anyone. I would try to keep. Yes.
I mean, if she was flailing her arms around and like spitting in my face, I would be like,
Oh, God. You did
right.
I would at a point, if they were right in my face, I would probably not push, but put a hand and say, just I need some space. I will be happy to continue hearing your complaint. That's what, and I told her, I said, I understand why you're upset. I understand why you're angry. But the rules are the rules. I didn't make the rules, but everyone's got to follow them. If I don't enforce it for your kid, I'm gonna have to bend the rules for everybody. And that's just the way it is. She got really mad. She said she was gonna go to the board and get me fired. What she didn't know was I was basically about to quit for that summer anyway, because my grandfather was supposed to have a knee replacement, and basically he wasn't going to be able to do anything that summer, and I was going to basically get him back, do things around their house until he could get back kind of on his feet. Exactly. So, and then basically I told them, I said, hey, I would really like y'all's support out here because she said she'd come back. And no one from the board came. Like, no one came to help me, like, support the rule that they wanted me to enforce. So I said, well, okay, well then I'm definitely quitting. Like, if you're not going to come out here and support me. So then I put in my 2 weeks. And a few days later, I told y'all about the guy who came out with the pills. What now? Maybe that must have been another class. Anyway, a guy came out, for instance, and he had a whole bunch of pill bottles. And basically, he was acting kind of crazy, so I called someone on the board. I said, hey, y'all, this guy's not really being violent, but he's acting kind of weird. I think he might be on something. We just might need to, could use somebody's help down here. See what they actually did show up, but I'd already put in my 2 weeks. I was like, oh, it's a little late now. And they told me to call the non-emergency police number, so that's what I did. I called the non-emergency police. Y'all, if you ever need the police to really show up, you call 911. Don't call the non-emergency number. This still was a non-emergency situation, so I think I did the right thing. It took them 30 minutes to get there. Stuff happens. And I understand there's probably things going on around Greenville, for instance, that day that were more important than them coming to check on this guy. I get it. The police officers showed up. They said, where is he at? I was like, well, he already left. It's been 30 minutes. And the pool people came and confronted him, and they got all irritated with him. He never got mad at me at one moment. He never got mad at me. The pool board members came and tried to confront him, and it caused a problem. It was an issue. He left. He forgot his sunglasses. The police have left. He shows back up. But the police officer said, hey, if he shows back up, you call us immediately. I said, all right, I will. He's with the sunglasses. I called him real quick, and I'm keeping him there. I'm like, because, I don't know what's up with the guy. Maybe the guy's, needs help or something. Yeah. I was like, this guy needs some help. There's something not right. He needs help.
He's not going to get arrested because he doesn't know if he's taking on the drugs and he's all good.
Yeah, for his safety and others around, someone needed to intervene with this guy, basically. So they say to call back. I'm keeping him there, just kind of talking to him. He's not mad at me. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for everything to get so hectic. I'm like, well, you seem like a reasonable guy. You're just not, something ain't right. I'm like, so I'm talking to him, and finally he's leaving, and I'm like, okay, I kind of keep thinking the police officers are going to show up, just hopefully just to talk to him and say like, hey, dude, are you okay? Do we need to get you somewhere or something? And he leaves. The police officers show up like probably 10, 15 minutes after he's been gone. They're like, where's he at? I'm like, he left again. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't keep him here. Like, I'm not holding him against his will because if you took business law, I'm not allowed to do that.
What are the non-emergency? I'd rather just like sitting and like watching the dog. Like I'm just gonna like let it
Play out. I don't know what happened. And they may have been dealing with something. I don't know. Either way, the guy never showed back up. I ended up not working for the rest of that summer. So it worked out for me because it just got to the point. I kept dealing with those things. I got unlucky and I kept dealing with those kind of situations. No, when you work at that job, you don't want to deal with that. You want to sit there and my favorite part of the job, playing football with the kids. Doing something, I didn't mind swimming. I like doing things but no, I don't want to be yelled at. Don't want to deal with the guy who's like possibly about to OD or something like that. That's interesting. Well, look who it is.
I was pretty close to saying
I'm recording. Okay. Alex, when can you come help with this task? Yeah. Cool. That's fine. That's perfect. What's fourth period? Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, so again, listening. The root of all that story was if you listen to people, they sometimes will calm down and sometimes they won't. But it's never a good idea to start arguing with them. Like I didn't argue with that lady. I just said, it is what it is. The grill people, yes. There's no point in arguing with them. We actually just talked about that. Step 2, thank the customer for bringing the problem to your attention. Let the customer know that you appreciate hearing about the problem so that you can resolve it and prevent. And, if you ever call somewhere, especially at Suddenlink, that feels like they're bleeding to you off of this, basically, it's really annoying. Because you do want sincerity, too. That's important, too. Restate the complaint. So you do want to make sure you do understand the complaint. Like, what is your complaint? Is that your internet is out or that your internet's been out for 3 weeks? Is it a constant thing or is it a just right now thing? Step 4, investigate the problem. So now that you understand the complaint, you must determine how it can be handled. And for Suddenlink, does a technician need to come out or can we unplug the internet and plug it back in and it'll work? Does some static gotten into the line and if you take it out and if y'all ever know, I don't know if you So if you ever have a problem with your internet and if you use coax cable for it, if you unscrew the coax cable on both ends and you put your fingers on the end, it sometimes get the static out and your internet will go back to work. Just heads up, something to try. You'll be a hero at home. So. No, that doesn't. Well, you can try it. You can try it. It's worth it. You have to try it, but it's worth a try if you're before you call. Okay. Step 5. So explain company policy. So specify. Listen, I'm almost done. Let me finish up. So basically, like if it's a complaint they can't help, you've got to explain it's the policy and that you can't help it. Just like the grill, we can't sell displays until we have sold all the other ones. Take action. So then, if there is anything you can do, maybe those guys were mad about the grill. Can we offer you a deal that sometimes we don't have on? There you go. Yeah. So there you go. So dealing online can be tricky. Obviously, that's gotten better though. But with the chats, you can't tell what people's tones are, and you can't tell if they're aggravated or not. So there's that sometimes. So that runs into some issues. All right. So summary. So dealing with customer complaints appropriately is beneficial. It can increase customer goodwill, increase sales, increase employee confidence, and help gather more accurate product and marketing information. A policy is a general rule that employees follow. A procedure is a step-by-step process for performing a specific task. A good general procedure for handling customer complaints includes listening, thanking the customer for bringing the problem to your attention, restating the complaint, investigating the problem, explaining company policy, and taking action. Whatever that may be, it might be a full return, it might be a half, you're getting half your money back and we'll replace the item, or something. Who knows what the policy is, but there's going to be a policy. Again, make sure you turn in the notes for both of these sections and make sure you get both total recalls done. And that is it. I'm going to end the recording there. If you have any questions, please email me at haddocs1@pit.k12.ncws.